Investors are asking how exactly you will ensure the occupancy rates that you mentioned in your presentation.
We are not going down the route of handing over the units entirely to a hotel management company. Because when you bring in a hotel operator, the operator takes about 20% of the gross revenue for themselves. This is a project where our contracts specify that we have the right to rent it out earlier. And unfortunately, the market is so complicated that most investors have said they don't want it to be rented out earlier. The difference in profit can be as much as twofold, whether we sell off plan at the foundation stage or sell a finished unit. For $2 million, you can basically get a complex of 7 or 8 villas with its own small restaurant.
Friends, I'm happy to see you all. We're on the channel where we talk about investment properties in Bali. I'm here today with Philip Orloff, a co-founder of Bali's largest developer, LOYO and Bondar. And today we're going to ask Philip some of the most interesting questions. So Philip, in a few words, for those who may not know you, could you tell us about your company and how you went from being a boutique developer to the largest one in Bali in just a few years?
Hello, yes. First of all, I'm glad to see everyone on the channel. Yes, let's do that. My name is Philip Orloff, and I'm one of the 4 founders of the LB Group, which includes brands like LOYO and Bondar, Homes, LB Management, and more than 10 other brands. So we're not just a developer anymore, we're a manufacturing and construction group. We are, I'd say, the leader here in Bali. Right now, we're building over 100,000 square meters of property. How did we get here? I guess from the start, when we entered the market, all our processes were designed to be scalable, meaning we built the structure to maximize our growth in the future. So right now we have over 1,000 employees, and at this moment, 12 complexes are under construction simultaneously. I mean, I don't think anyone else in Bali can do that. And for investors, this can be important because we're one of the most reliable developers. We definitely deliver, and we deliver on time. And we also maintain the necessary price point and price to quality ratio. Right, so how did we grow? We grew pretty fast. Really, well, as they say, do a good job and you'll get good results. So I guess that's how we grew.
So Philippe, tell me, what can an investor with, say, a smaller budget of $200,000 choose? And for an investor who wants to invest a larger amount of capital, say $2 to $3 million, what kind of interaction options do you see for them?
Well, we have a very flexible approach. We have units starting from $85,000. We have a magnificent complex called Pandawa Dream. It's a hotel with 400 rooms, and about 65% of it has already been sold. But there are still units available. It's a freehold complex, which means you can buy a unit for up to 80 years. So all these myths about Bali having only short leaseholds or no freeholds are, well, just myths, because we offer up to 80 years that you can purchase. There are units from 85,000 up to penthouses for 300,000. And so our property catalog is actually completely flexible. There's Ubud, there's Canggu, there's Bukit, so all the areas. You can just leave a request and the girls from Imperion will do a great job of telling you all about it. If you have up to 100,000, I would definitely recommend apartments in Bukit. If you have up to 300,000, it's definitely a villa, a 2-bedroom one. I don't like 1-bedroom or 3-bedroom villas. It has to be a 2-bedroom villa or a junior 2-bedroom. What's a junior 2-bedroom? It's also in demand now. It's 1 bedroom and 1 living room that can be converted into a bedroom. So on Booking or Airbnb, it's rented out as a 2-bedroom and essentially it costs less. So if I'm not mistaken, we now have units starting from $148,000 for a junior 2-bedroom like that. If you have more than, say, $500,000, then these could be some more complex concepts. But starting from $1 million, it's more of a co-development, where we can do a joint project, since we're a construction holding with our own window and ceiling manufacturing. So basically, we can provide a very wide range of services for building complexes. And plus, we also handle the sale of complexes together with the Imperion agency. So we can both build and sell them together.
So if I understand correctly, let's say an investor has even $1 million. We can enter into a partnership. They can build their own hotel complex and manage it themselves. Or, for example, use management from LOYO and Bondar, right, to rent it out later on?
Typically, with $1 million plus, say from 1 to 3 million, we're talking about a small complex, starting from 5 villas or some small apartments. So there are 2 options here. Either we sell it together and earn a profit with the investor, or they keep the complex for themselves. But because the complex is initially built with the investor's money, there's a good wholesale discount from the start. You can really get a return of, say, 15 to 17%, specifically if you're building it for yourself with your own money, meaning there are no resale or flipping schemes involved. Now, if you go into co-development, you can currently earn, say, 30+% on the invested capital. So these are genuinely realistic figures.
The sales department of LOYO Bondar has prepared the 3 most advantageous offers of this month. The best prices, updated promotions, and exclusive special offers are gathered in one presentation. Find out where to invest this month for maximum benefit for yourself or your clients. Scan the QR code on the screen and follow the link in the description. And in just 5 minutes, the top 3 offers will be in your hands. LOYO Bondar, your best investment solutions.
Friends, today we've gathered to congratulate the LOYO Bondar Company on the opening of their 6th complex.
Yes, we're opening our 6th complex. It's a hotel in the very center of Canggu. There are villas and apartments, and we'll show you now. And there's also a restaurant on the roof, a rooftop one, maybe we can show it later. It will be the highest rooftop restaurant in Canggu at the moment, in the main tourist area, there.
Cool. Please give us a tour. And you said it's only 7 minutes to the beach from here, right?
Yes, it's 7 minutes to the beach. The hotel will operate on an adults-only basis, meaning for adult. So there will be parties here, there will be some kind of bar, well, come on, I'll show you everything.
Well, just how we like it, right, Gaia?
There's a large 100-meter pool on the roofs. You have to understand, you can insert this later. This is March of 24. Oh yes, look, a year and a half.
Wow.
That was a year and a half ago.
By the way, what I want to note is that LOYO builds extremely fast. They now have a project in Ubud, which started sales this January, in January of 2025, less than a year ago. And they've already poured the foundation, built the structure, 2 floors.
About Ubud Dream.
They're ahead of schedule.
We started Ubud Dream in May of this year.
Yes. I mean, they started selling in January of 2025 and started construction in May.
And now you can see what it's like now in December.
And now the construction stage is like as if the project is about a year and a half old. So in fact,
I think this is the only project not the only one, of course, there are others. This is the only project where our contracts state that we have the right to deliver it earlier, but to accommodate our investors, we don't deliver it earlier because we have payment obligations. And unfortunately, the market is such that most investors said they don't need it delivered earlier.
And what does this say for our investors, and in principle, for those who are potentially considering the Bali real estate market, and specifically the developer LOYO Bondar, that, well, first of all, the company is probably the largest on the island right now. It's one of the largest in terms of square meters, and that they have a sufficient amount of their own capital, which they use to build, right? They don't wait for investors' money or for installment payments that take 2 to 3 years. They build the projects with their own money, so to speak, without waiting for the client to pay. For me, by the way, that was one of the most important advantages when I was buying a project from this developer for myself.
Let's go take a look at the unit.
Oleg is also one of the founders of the development company. So we congratulate you on the launch of your 6th project.
Thank you very much. It was, on the one hand, a long journey, but on the other hand, it felt very fast. I mean, I remember how a year and a half ago we bought a piece of land here, literally in the middle of nowhere. Well, I mean, sure, there's Batu Belong and Black Sands, but this particular area felt so... And during this time, first of all, we built our project. And, well, for me, it's all like a movie playing in fast forward. And now it's here, and everyone else is built up around it too. So now this place is really, literally very lively.
Super. Today, we're really enjoying what's happening here with them. What they're building in such an incredibly short amount of time. What guarantees do you offer to an investor? So there are several strategies. For example, if I have, say, $1 million, I can either buy a wholesale package from you, or I can get into co-development. Well, as far as I know, co-development is a slightly riskier model. Or do you protect the investor in some way?
It all depends on the terms, that is, on the percentages. Accordingly, there are riskier ones where we don't protect the investor, and there are less risky ones with lower percentages, but where we provide collateral, real estate that can be worked with. That is, there's even a scenario where we arrange, a buyback for the whole thing. So we provide units for a buyback. So there are many schemes, actually. We approach each case individually, and in each case, you just need to look at everything and calculate it. So all of this is specified in the contract, right? And accordingly, if there are any risks, the investor can just take the already finished units. Yes, of course, of course.
Excellent. So friends, if you have a request for co-development, please leave an application and we will gladly tell you all about it.
Actually, one of the most interesting formats for interaction is if for around, well, $2 million, we have ready-made projects. For $2 million, you can get in principle a complex of 7 or 8 villas with its own small restaurant, which will be named whenever you want. It will be located in the location you want, and it will also provide a pretty good income. So roughly, if you compare it with Dubai, in Dubai for that money you can buy one apartment, whereas here you'll get your own mini hotel. There are many management companies besides ours, but ours also shows pretty good numbers. You can choose how to manage it, or if someone wants to retire, you can step in and manage it yourself.
Awesome. By the way, Philip, you've touched on a great topic regarding the management company. You are now delivering a fairly large number of units, and your management company is quite young. So investors are wondering how you will actually ensure the occupancy rate that you talk about in presentations, like 10 to 12% ROI.
Yes, in fact, we went the route of our own management company, but it is certified by companies like Marriott Bonvoy and Radisson. We don't go the route of transferring units completely to a hotel management company because few people talk about this. We actively talk about this, that when you bring in a hotel operator, the hotel operator takes about 20% of the gross revenue for themselves. So accordingly, if we say that right now on the market, an average of 50% is the investor's return after paying taxes and expenses, then if you take away another 20%, the investor is left with 30%, which is actually not that interesting. We try to do it so that our main financial model, all our prices, all our management companies' work, is calculated to deliver ROI to the investor. That is, for us, the financial model of our complexes and management company is designed for the investor to make a profit. Accordingly, this is only possible with our own management company, but at the same time, we are certified for a number of complexes by Marriott Bonvoy. We are listed on the Marriott Bonvoy website. That is, we have fully passed certification. We have a 158-page contract that fully meets the requirements of Marriott Bonvoy. So anyone who has stayed with us knows that our management company standards are quite high. For this segment, we operate more or less in the format of a 4-star hotel. So that's enough to generate a 10 to 12% ROI with an 80% occupancy rate.
I've actually heard that your management company's KPI is tied to the investor's ROI. Is that true, or is that just a rumor?
Yes, we are probably one of the few management companies of this size. We now have over 100 units under management, and we tie the management company's KPI, one of the 3 main KPIs, to the investor's ROI. So, well, it doesn't make sense for us to profit from the management company, although it is a separate business unit, and we absolutely want to make money from it. But our main goal is for the investors to be happy, because for us, our main story is for investors to invite their friends to invest more so that the Bali market actually grows. So the investment market is more important to us than the management company.
So basically, you're willing to break even, right? To show great results and also launch new projects with your management company that guarantees a high income for investors?
Yes, spoken like. Initially in our financial model, our earnings from the management company are less than those of standard ones. I mean, for us, it's smaller. And secondly, the thing is, when you set the KPI based on the investor's ROI, which no external management companies do, the management company's approach changes in a very interesting way. In fact, even just setting the KPI itself significantly changes the attitude towards the investor. I mean, well, there are a lot of little things to work with. We can already see that just setting the KPI has a very strong impact on the investor's ROI.
Friends, honestly, this is the first time I'm encountering this, so I'm very glad that these rumors were confirmed by Philip. And it's not a rumor, it's really true. So invest in LOYO and be happy. So we're in a completed unit now. Philip, tell me, how many units like this are still left if an investor is considering ready-to-move-in apartments?
Well, it's one of our downsides, but it's also an upside. We have very few ready units. Right now, out of more than 500 units, not just in this complex, but overall, only about 10 ready units are available. You might be able to snatch one, but it's very difficult because we sell everything off plan, which is really great. But we do have almost identical units, very similar. I'm sure the quality will be another 20 to 30% higher. These are the units in Pandawa Dream. The good thing there is the leasehold is almost 3 times longer than here. It's up to 50 years, but you can get up to 80 years. So that's 4 times more leasehold, plus spacious units with an ocean view. So focusing on Pandawa Dream, this was our, well, not a trial run, but our first 6 or 7 projects were about fine-tuning our scaling. And now we're doing large-scale projects where you can get a good return on investment. I also want to point out that this complex is small, and many investors mistakenly think that a small complex is more profitable, or more interesting, or safer than a large complex. So in a large complex, if in this complex for this money you only get a rooftop with a small restaurant, in Pandawa Dream for the same money you get 4 restaurants, 2 rooftops, a pool complex, a cafe, and about 4,000 meters of commercial space. So for the same money, because we can offer more commercial space per square meter. So if you like this unit, then you should look into Pandawa Dream. There are prices available now. And regarding price increases, just so you understand why everything we have sells out. These units were sold during the pre-sale for $90,000, and now the price is $160,000. The last 2 units sold for $160,000 over a year and a half. If we look at Pandawa Dream, the units there are even cheaper now. There are units starting from $85,000. I think that after completion, they will also be $150,000 to $160,000.
Excellent capitalization. That's fantastic.
And plus, right now for Pandawa Dream, as part of a special offer, if I'm not mistaken, until the end of January, we're also offering a guaranteed return. We're so confident in these prices because the prices are really very cheap that our current offer includes a 10% guaranteed return for 2 years.
Well, actually, we joke among agents that there's already a line forming to live in Pandawa Dream after it's completed. Because honestly, I'm a huge fan of Phuket. And when I visit, I prefer complexes with more infrastructure, not living in a villa. And there isn't a space like that where you can work out, go to a restaurant, or just take a walk all within one single area.
Well, yes, and plus, the occupancy of complexes in Bali is actually changing. It's moving towards 50% monthly rentals and 50% daily rentals. Because with monthly rentals, it can even be more profitable for the investor. Why? Because there are fewer expenses, and all the costs fall on the tenant who is renting monthly. So it will be possible to live in the Pandawa Dream Complex. I think the numbers will be sufficient. And also, just to give you an idea of the ROI, I won't go into too much detail, but an $85,000 unit yields 12% per year, if I'm not mistaken, at $70 per night. At $70 a day, it'll yield around 12% annually. Great. So our complexes, let's be clear, are not premium. They're a good business class. But this business class allows investors to make money. That's the most important thing for us.
But for $85,000, you get a nice unit, fully finished, with furniture and appliances. Look, really, let's take a closer look at the quality. Here, if it's Comfort Plus, we're still talking about Bali. And now, yes, my colleagues were talking about the Pandawa Dream Complex. What can we buy in the CIS countries for $85,000, plus a great installment plan? And you can also extend the leasehold, as Philip said, from 50 to 80 years. And in fact, it's the same ownership as we're used to in the CIS countries, or how we acquire a similar property on a long-term leasehold in Thailand. And notice, everything you see right now is already included in the price. And Daria says she likes these big projects, where there's really a lot of infrastructure, a lot of places to go for a walk. I, for one, prefer more intimate, smaller projects. And so if your request is about the same as mine, I'd also recommend the Green Villas complex. It's actually 5 minutes away from my favorite Nusa Dua beach, surrounded by all the 5-star hotels. So it's the absolute premium in Bali. And here, our ocean view apartments start at $110,000. It's about the same apartment as you see now, just with a slightly different design. It will also be fully turnkey, yes, with furniture and appliances. And there's a great installment plan from 30% for 3 years. And you just quietly pay off the installments over 3 years and the gorgeous apartment of your dreams on the best island of Bali.
Philip, tell us about 3 strategies for getting into co-development.
Actually, we have a lot of interest in co-development. In co-development, there are several strategies, and they are different. We work with small-scale co-development. Roughly speaking, the ideal format is from $2 to $5 million. What does that mean? We have complexes. You can take a look at them. For example, let's take the Jungle Flowers complex. It's a complex of 10 villas. This entire complex can be designed and developed for $2 to $3 million. So it's a complete hotel complex that generates a pretty good income and isn't difficult to manage. You can actually manage it yourself. You can bring in your own management company, or you can partially manage it yourself and partially bring someone else in. So there's no problem with that. We help with that as well. And here, there are three co development strategies. The first strategy is that we build together. We buy the land, we have our own company for land selection, and we're one of the best when it comes to land. We select land for developers, and we actually select some of the top plots of land. We don't choose the most expensive land, because I could talk about that for a long time. I'm against buying expensive land on a cliff on the first line because the return on investment takes a very long time. We always buy land for, say, 3 or 4-star projects, but ones where you can make a good income. So we select the land, we build on it, and from there the strategy diverges. The first strategy is we sell these units, and we split the profit from the sale of these units. It's a strategy that's a bit speculative, where we buy, we build, and we sell together. This means the burden of selling all of this, all these units, falls on us.
So during construction, you sell the units and make a profit, during or after it.
The current trend is that it's easier to sell after completion. So again, the difference in profit can vary greatly by up to 2 times, depending on whether we sell off-plan at the foundation stage or if we sell a finished product. If a person has, let's say, $2 million, there are also 2 options here. We can build something big, and that money will go towards promoting the project and getting the project started. And the project itself will cost, let's say, $6 million, and we'll invest $2 million and get the rest from sales to other investors. That will result in 1 level of profit. And the second scenario is when we have $2 million, and we spread that $2 million entirely over 2 years, roughly speaking over 7 villas, and so we complete those 7 villas in that format. That's the second scenario. Accordingly, the third option is when we simply build a hotel for you to be managed. So this is a purely hotel-focused scenario. But again, I repeat, because of the construction, the wholesale volume, and because we understand from the start that we don't bear the risks of additional sales, an investor can now get a return of 15 to 17% per year on rent. So roughly speaking, that's a 6-year payback period for the hotel, which is quite good.
That's great. A 6-year payback period in US dollars sounds like a fairy tale.
Well, how is that achieved? Because we understand that we don't need to sell everything, we don't bear the risks, and we take all the money for construction entirely from the investor. And what's also very important here, we have projects now on the bucket. If the investor has no issues with money, and we take all the money from the investor for construction, the construction can be greatly accelerated. So it's true, we built the Jungle Flowers project in 14 months. So you don't need 2 years, it can be done faster. If an investor has a specific goal, yes, it might cost a little more, but we can speed up the construction. Take a look at our projects. We have small boutique projects like LOYO Villas, Jungle Flowers, and U Villas. All of these projects are around $2 million, more or less, and you get your own hotel. In my opinion, this is a very underrated market because you can easily buy your wife a hotel in Bali and she will be delighted. Or many people come to us saying they want to retire and have a hotel in Bali for their retirement that will attract and delight people. That's very cool. In no other country right now, not in Thailand, not in Turkey, not in Dubai, can you afford something like this, to get your own hotel for $2 million. So this is a very underrated market in Bali. So for those who are interested, well, it's a different story because not many can do this because we have our own construction company. We are not just resellers. So if you go to a developer, what is the difference between a developer and a builder? Because a developer, as a rule, doesn't have their own construction company. They hire a general contractor. Therefore, a developer isn't interested in building small projects for 2 or 3 million because they also have to find builders and so on. We have our own construction, our own windows, our own ceilings, our own finishing. We are actually interested in keeping our construction team busy with such projects. Therefore, our goal for 2026, 2027, and 2028 is for up to 50% of our sales turnover to be precisely these kinds of hotel complexes. But we can also build something large. I mean, I mentioned the small ones, but in general, if you show the picture of Pandawa Hills right now, a hotel complex like this in Bali can be built for $10 to $12 million. Well, in fact, this is a unique situation. Many people, well, this complex for 10 to 12 million in this form with an ocean view can absolutely be built as a turnkey project.
Thank you, Philip. Well, actually, now you can ask for not an apartment in Dubai for $1.5 million, but your own entire hotel complex in Bali. Awesome.
Well, we already have various requests. We're even doing some projects. But in my opinion, it's much cooler than an apartment in Dubai.
But it's also a smarter gift with more profitable real estate.
From what we know, many people are held back by the question of who will manage it, a lack of understanding of the hotel business. So just ask and we'll explain. There are many hotel operators, and in Bali, managing a hotel with 10 villas is a fairly, well, not a very complicated process. I mean, it just works and keeps working. So you can choose from 4 or 5 management companies, choose what you need, what you're interested in, and also participate in it yourself. Well, of course, we provide a full service. We have our own management company, our own dry cleaners, our own sewing production, so we provide it all. But if for some reason you're not happy with our management, you can choose any management company. Only a few agencies will see it, but you can take a look. It's a villa like this. Well, I think it's amazing.
Take a look. I think this one poof from Bottega Veneta has already paid for the cost of the villa. Let's see what else they have in store for us.
Some kind of utility room. Okay, here's the next door. This is the guest bathroom. What catches your eye?
By the way, these sofas are trendy now. Yes, it's assembled like a construction set. And by the way, can they be moved apart, right?
Use it as a separate poof, yes.
You can move it however you want and lie down with 5 people.
Will there be any greenery on the property?
No, this is all only 70% ready. There will be greenery and paintings and everything. We're just showing you...
Oh, I see, yes. It's really cool that there's so much light.
Wow, it's so beautiful, isn't it?
What a cool logo, right? XO, XO.
And in English, that means a kiss, right? XO. I think that's very symbolic too. By the way, why did you name it that? Is it because of XO? What does it mean? Like a kiss in English?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I guessed it.
What a great workspace, right? You can...
Earn money for the next villa, right? By working here? And again, large balconies. By the way, what's distinctive about this project is that they have really big balconies, which some don't do at all. That is, you enter the villa and that's it, right? The villa just ends with floor-to-ceiling windows. Here on the balcony, there's additional space where you can put, by the way, we saw in the apartments, a few chairs, a table, and you just come out in the evening and enjoy it. Of course, there's construction over there now too, but that's all in progress. Look, we also have a walk-in closet here. The villa is only 100 meters, and there's also a personal walk-in closet here. Well, by the way, most of the clients who come are somehow connected to construction. Yes, almost all of them are builders. 70% of them are builders, for sure. Yes, and those who stay in the villas, for example, the LOYO villas, they all say they are pleasantly surprised. By the way, we just met my client. We'll also get an interview with him, right, if we can? He also stayed here and says he was very pleasantly surprised. He's been in construction for half his life, and he says, yes, he walked around, looked at everything, went through all the corners, and didn't find anything to really nitpick, right? Because when we come, we're looking for something to find fault with. Here, the quality of construction is actually very good. Despite it being Comfort Plus, the comfort fully justifies itself. In fact, for $150,000, we got a gorgeous villa with rice terraces all around, and now it's worth $350,000, I think, on resale. Oh yes, and considering that these are isolated cases of resale, people don't want to resell them because the return, by the way, was 21%. My colleagues didn't even want me to say it because right now it sounds like some kind of scam.
I didn't say it. Philip, tell us about our special feature, how we just took 2 floors of the most prime apartments from you, and what offer can you make for our clients for the new year?
Yeah, actually, I'm always amazed at how Imperion takes all the best stuff from us. And this complex, which Imperion was already actively selling, we were just about to release for sale, but actually we'll only be releasing it in a private format. We have the Nusa Dua complex. It's one of 2 or 3 complexes in Bali, within walking distance of the ocean. So we won the land. For those who know Bali, it's next to Kempinski, Mulia, and Hilton. It's Giger Beach, one of the most Instagrammable beaches in Bali. It's surrounded by amazing 5-star hotels. And there we're going to build an apartment building. There will be a total of about up to 100 apartments. And right now we have apartments with a view of the golf courses and the ocean. We have some really great apartments with some, I think right now in the pre-sale, the prices are like starting from 110,000. So they're very cheap with a good installment plan. So they are almost all under the exclusive purview of the Imperion company. So if anyone is interested, get in touch. They will probably run out very quickly. There. But just so you understand, in this same complex, there were 100-meter villas that Imperion also sold, and 100 units there were gone in literally 2 to 3 months. So the demand for this location is insane. Nusa Dua is one of the locations where the 5-star hotels are located. In other regions of Bali, there are practically no 5-star hotels. So 80% of the 5 stars are in Nusa Dua, and your hotel will be on the second line, 10 meters from the top 5-star hotels, Mulia and Kempinski. And there are still some units, I think there are about 20 of them probably left. Go grab them, we'll be happy to see you.
Philip, thank you for the units. Friends, submit your applications and be sure to buy the coolest, sweetest lots.